opened the gym, I had enough belief in myself to at least do that. I had no plan, no model. I didn't know what I was going to do. I'll make mistakes and I'll learn from them and give myself permission to. And that generally sort of is my belief around anything. To see yourself as a leader, to be able to understand your strengths and weaknesses.
What's been the biggest breakthrough, the hardest lesson that you've learned?
The only way you're going to be successful is by doing things, making mistakes, causing problems and finding solutions and fixing them.
What's happening, guys? Welcome to Motivation Theory, the podcast where we help you guys basically educate, motivate and inspire you guys to become your best self. Today we have a very special guest. We've got Johnny here from PPS. Johnny is one of our mentors. Basically, we wouldn't have the second gym without him. He's helped us a lot over the last, how many years has it been? 3-4 years?
I think we met and started working together in 2022, but we might have known each other for a while before that.
I think I stalked you online. I stalked you online for like a good 2 years before that as well. But a very exciting podcast today. The first question we're going to ask Johnny, so give us a quick intro to who we are, what PPS is, what it's about, and what kind of started the gyms. I know you've got 5 gyms, is it?
5 locations now.
5 locations.
Yeah. So my name's Johnny. I've been a gym owner for almost 10 years. I was a personal trainer before that, working out of a commercial gym for 2 years. But prior to that, in a different life, I'd moved over from New Zealand at the end of 2012. I was an architectural draftsman, so I was self-employed draftsman. Got over to Perth, became more passionate about fitness and started transitioning into becoming a personal trainer by 2013.
Early days. That's Facebook basically for
pretty much was. So that's when Facebook and fitness started to combine back in those days, and that's where we got our education from.
Rewinding back, so what kind of got you into the gym? Was it were you always quite muscular, or were you thin build?
Thanks,
were
man,
you large? It's pretty muscular. What was the story behind Johnny starting?
I was really skinny growing up, so I'm 38 now. I didn't start training in a gym till I was the end of 23, becoming 24. My mates finally dragged my sorry carcass into the gym, despite me being stubborn throughout my entire teens and early 20s, just going out partying, drinking alcohol. They were generally sort of fitter, more athletic guys who weren't afraid of going to the gym. They dragged me in. I did get addicted to progress and started to transform my physique from skinny to looking like I lifted, and that transformed my confidence and played a big role into leading me to where I am now.
That's awesome. So for you as well, so basically you started working out, you started building confidence. When did you decide to leave your safe job and open a gym? Was that what was the big decision there?
So going back to even being a teenager, I never wanted to work for someone.
Okay.
I always wanted to be self-employed, and becoming a draftsman did give me some of that opportunity. I house sat for a guy when I was a teenager, and he had a computer at home, and he told me I just work from home and I'm a draftsman, and it was something I was naturally dispositioned towards anyway because of my skills at the time. That inspired me to do that, and I was self-employed plus contracting to a company in New Zealand, even here from Perth. I enjoyed that freedom. Didn't want to have to answer to people. I wanted to be able to go out during the day, train, do my chores, run errands without having to be afraid to ask my boss for time off and things like that. So I've always wanted to be my own boss, and getting into fitness, I knew at the time there's a huge opportunity to be self-employed as well as doing something you're passionate about that has purpose, and you get to meet people. So it just ticked so many boxes for me because I was so passionate about training at the time as well.
That's awesome, man.
Kind of combining both worlds
Really
together.
did. And since then, you guys might agree it, I haven't felt like I've worked a day in my life for a long time now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely, we say that quite a few days, quite a few times a week as well. That's awesome. With I love this as well. So with PPS, who is the client that you help? Because you're quite different from most gyms. Who is the person that you want to help the most?
I don't know where it came from. I might have stolen it, but I think a lot of my members coined the term for me. We're the gym for non-gym people, and that has served us very well in terms of messaging and branding. And because I was a non-gym person at one point in time, I can really empathize and relate to the customer journey. So that's who we like to help. And I was even describing it to a new member onboarding today. He asked what our ethos was, and I said we like to help non-gym people become train them like athletes to become the most confident gym goers, even if they had to go to a commercial gym. Because I think you can train non-gym people, but you still have to help them get results and train them as if they're an athlete. You can't just help them keep the identity of a non-gym person their whole life, because that's not what they're trying to do. They need to transform.
If they shift their identity and become someone that's like, I'm an athlete, I'm a gym goer, I'm a winner in that sort of area, like they're going to naturally keep those habits. Whereas if they identify themselves as like a non-gym goer forever, they're not going to continue.
Using it as an excuse, a limiting belief, you know, because then what sort of decisions does a non-gym person make when they go out for dinner, when they go out and party, in other areas of their life where we could have the biggest impact? So that identity shift is like, the biggest reason my business exists and why I love what I do.
Because essentially your clients take your standards on, and that's what's going to help them outside the gym. So if they hold those standards as their own, they're going to be successful. If they don't, they're not going to be very successful. I think that's a good point as well. I think we've definitely stolen that, as in like the non-gym goer as well. We're very similar gym.
I think I highly encouraged it. And
I think you did.
To be honest, I can't stake claim to it. I'm sure as you do in fitness, especially with fitness businesses, something's always been derived from somewhere. So I definitely don't trademark that, but I definitely have tried to own it as much as possible in terms of the way that we like to market ourselves. I
think you naturally want to help people that, like where we were before, like that's where we were. So we naturally want to help who we once were. Like previously when we started as well.
We can relate and we can see ourselves in that.
We know how much better our life has been since training. That's what we want to pass on to other people as well. That's really cool.
So Johnny, who is like your very first kind of client that is your most inspirational, first time client that's had such a big transformation, not just like physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and who always kind of comes top of mind?
There's been heaps. We've got a whole wall full of them. And even before I started PPS, there's always been so many clients who I look back on fondly now for the impact I had. But you two might appreciate, it's actually my own partner, Chantal.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Chantal started doing personal training. Now she's my lifelong partner, but it wasn't the best start for her in fitness, not her natural habitat at all. And we don't mind having a bit of a laugh about my lack of patience, which isn't a strength of mine, coming out during our personal training sessions. But she started picking up some traction. I would say thanks to my other coaches who worked for me, who were probably more understanding and empathetic. That really helped her. They did, some coaches had a really good impact on her. But when she started gaining traction, what happened to Chantal is she got a blood clot. So she got a blood clot, I think, from a form of contraceptive pill. Started in her leg, and she was misdiagnosed for having low iron. So she started to get lethargic and not being herself, and got a bit, got the misdiagnosis there. But what happened is the blood clot traveled up into her lungs, and then one day in the shower she collapsed and had to rush to hospital. And she ended up pretty much dying and having emergency heart surgery right then and there. So hectic. That was in 2017. So she had started gaining traction and then faced a massive barrier, emergency heart surgery, big cut right up the belly and into the chest. Within 12 months though, what happened is she went from non-gym person, started to gain some traction, went through that surgery, and within 12 months she had made a return back to the gym, transformed her body. She was absolutely shredded and looked amazing. She did a photo shoot and she deadlifted triple her body weight almost. I've still got the video on my phone. I ram it in people's face and make them watch it all the time, like so proud.
We might overlay video here.
She got it close to 100 kilo deadlift before she got sick with the blood clot, which was good. And that was like, I think it was a real FU to me, because that was a movement I tried to teach her and didn't have much success with. And it really instilled that stubbornness in her. She did, honestly. And then I think she just had this just the strength she showed, the resilience she showed, overcoming multiple barriers, turning what was really not an environment that was meant for her anyway into something she became really strong at, super educated in, really inspirational.
Absolutely.
She shows those traits all the time.
That's awesome.
But obviously something that really look up to her for overcoming, and I think just epitomizes the PPS story in general, like that. There's so many members have gone through similar journeys, and hers means a lot to me, obviously. But just really epitomizes what PPS, my gyms, were here for. So it's a really, really touching story for me.
That's awesome, man.
It's almost like teaching people how to turn their like pain into like purpose and passion and drive and that.
And it's like she was never short of strength, physically and emotionally, but definitely you learned how to use it in the gym. And I'd say now, like going from a non-gym person, she could easily be one of our best coaches with what she's learned in the gym and how she's able to regurgitate what we do at PPS. She's, again, just really been the banner of our business.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That worked out really well then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. And I thought you two might love that, since I'm sure you have shared this journey together as well and seen each other go through many challenges and ups and downs.
100%.
Yeah. I was going to say the next question as well for you was basically, if someone's listening to this today, what would you say, like they're wanting to start training, they want to start their journey, they don't feel comfortable, they don't feel like they belong, like what advice would you give to that person to kind of get them to start?
Need to identify what's causing the limiting beliefs, mindset-wise, because there's always a story we tell ourselves and a reason why we can't do it. And that comes down to an identity shift. And I guess we need to take that goal and break it down into the smallest, most actionable steps, which can help us start to shift that belief. So we can start to, I guess, go from non-gym person, for example, what do we need to do to start feeling like a gym person and start changing the narrative? And it can be as small as people going and buying pre-workout and protein powder, because that's what a gym bro does. I'm not against it, you know? A lot of these non-gym people, I did the same. I used to spend so much on supplements in the early days thinking it was going to give me the result of the guy selling it to me, but at least what it did for me was helped me feel like I belong in the fitness industry. I'm a gym bro now. I take protein shakes, therefore I go to the gym and just start breaking it.
Identity boxes.
Start wearing singlets. You know what I mean? Start to feel like you belong. And of course, just show up to the gym or whatever you choose to do for exercise. Show up on a realistic time frame, consistently over time. Find out what progress means to you and achieve little bits of it so that you can start to believe in yourself and shift that belief.
I think that's something that you taught us as well, like client milestones. Like we've got the athlete.
Yeah, I love it.
Today. When a client hits this jersey, they now become, I'm an athlete. I'm good at this. And like we're like rewarding them and like cheering them on. Like they feel so good, and that's like they feel like they belong in the gym. So it's like when they hit that, I guarantee they're going to be more likely to go to the next milestone after.
And it gives them direction as well. Like there's nothing worse than wanting a goal but not knowing where to start or where you're going. And it keeps that going.
I love it. I see you guys promoting that on socials. Like, man, you nailed that. You know, I actually wish. I wish we were sort of full steam when I gave you the idea. So it's really hard to go back and reintegrate. We've taken parts of it, but being able to help you do that fresh and you guys see it come to fruition, you guys implement it. I'm like, man, that's awesome. I love it. I love it.
I've got both the jerseys as well. So it's pushed me to do that.
You have to, right?
I have to.
Imagine being the founder and owner of your gym and you're not in the level that the members want to be at. You know what I mean?
So it's
I love
myself as well. We need to come up with another jersey because the guys are getting too strong. So they're coming up to like 200 kilo deadlift and that. So I'm going to have to start up into another one.
I think that's something important, as well as like whoever you're learning from. It's like, you know, whether it's us learning from you or you know, future clients coming to you, or if people are, you know, thinking about it, it's like whoever you're learning from, take what they're saying and really take it on and, you know, give it your absolute best. And you know, and that's all you can do is listen and take the feedback. And
I think what a lot of people don't realise is the lessons that you're getting off who you've engaged for a mentor and coach is lessons they went through the hard way most of the time. You think, oh yeah, they've read a book on fitness, they've read a book on business, they've just given me the advice from that. It's like, no, like you're paying me to not go through the long. I went the long way. I'm giving you the shortcut. But lessons don't hit the same unless you've felt a bit of pain from them as well, from the mistakes. So I do understand that.
You have to be at a certain place to then take on every lesson. Like there's things that you said with the business as well, which like I wasn't ready to hear. I had an instance happened and I was like, okay, I understand now.
Now
this is what he was talking about. This is what I have to do.
I think it, as a mentor too, is not get frustrated if your client isn't taking your advice right then and now. You can float some things out there and just let it sit and let them go through the journey themselves to discover maybe what the lesson you were trying to give or what they could, the route that they choose. Because like when I worked with you guys, I never like just don't feel like it was just one direct route. It was just like, hey, let's spitball some ideas. Here's a few things you can do. You might go away and try them and come back to me and be like, hey, didn't really sit with us, or hey, this worked really well. Cool, let's just work with what works for you guys. You don't just have to stick to what I am telling you one route and me being dogmatic on it. I don't think that's good mentoring, you know?
Absolutely.
I guess it's like kind of like listening to where the client's up to and then
Yeah.
being able to decide what do they need to hear right now. If we give them too much of the future, they're going to get very overwhelmed.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just going to
Especially if
completely
they're not
stop
ready for
progress.
it, they're going to go, I'm out. Like, this
Yeah.
just feels
Which
too
we
much
used
for
to
me.
do. We were like, you to the gym. You're doing macros tomorrow. They're like, what's macros? And we're like, "Oh, let's start tomorrow."
Just make it seem as easy as possible, even if deep down it's not that easy to recomp your body. Make it feel that way, because if they feel like they're achieving the goal and it's easy, that's what's going to help them shift a belief, you know?
It's always like, if you feel like a winner, you're going to do the actions that a winner's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
do. So it's feeling like, I think this is like negative reinforcement usually like repels people. So
Yeah.
we want it to be like positive reinforcement
Yeah, yeah,
as much
yeah.
as we can.
And
That's what gets people keep
Talk
coming.
to my team about it is like, always, like, even if there's things your client could improve on when you're training them or in a group, always recognize what they did well or how they moved the needle forward that day, because it doesn't have to be perfect, but they could always have done something better than last time, and that's going to stack up over time.
100%.
But they don't know how to acknowledge their success because they don't know what success is yet. You have been there. You have to give them milestones and targets and let them know what success is, because for them being perfect is success, but that's not what the goal is, you know, and they don't know that unless you're able to actually just tell them you did a good job today. You know?
100%. And on beliefs and that, what is like a big massive belief for you that you would say to someone new starting out that they could start embodying to help them on their journey when they're starting out?
Like, if you could choose one belief, what would you want them to take on like tomorrow?
One thing we use at PPS here, it's on the board behind us, is progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
And that really epitomizes the PPS journey, because I wasn't even that. I was all right coach. I was a good coach, but I wasn't like I was running this booming coaching business. I just wanted my own gym. I wanted somewhere where I could train my own values and beliefs to people and not have friction within a commercial gym where you just got generic values and beliefs.
Yeah.
So I just jumped into it. I opened the gym. I had enough belief in myself to at least do that. I had no plan, no model. I didn't know what I was going to do. I'll just figure it out from there. You know, I'll make mistakes and I'll learn from them and give myself permission to. And that generally sort of is my belief around anything. Is let's just not wait for things to be perfect. Let's not try and wait for the right time or anything like that, or for the right environmental circumstances. If it's something you want to do, break it down into the smallest actionable step and just get started, and then work out the kinks in the hose from there.
Yeah.
You know, because it's never right. And the longer you wait, the less confidence you have, because then you start reinforcing to yourself that you're not an action taker, and that really starts to damage your identity.
Confidence.
And your confidence. You know, and then over time, the more goals you have that you don't take action on compound and really reinforce a negative mindset.
Absolutely.
So just take action,
Yeah.
take action and be comfortable making mistakes. Nobody cares like you think they do about you, and the only way you're going to be successful is by doing things, making mistakes, causing problems, and finding solutions and fixing them.
Absolutely.
There was I remember seeing a photo a while ago of you like throwing down your gym mats in the 5th location, and you had like 1% better. I remember seeing that and was like, that's the mentality that obviously we have to take on. Just like every day doing something to move the needle forward, even if it's something as simple as throwing down some gym mats.
And
So
that's
it's
just for you.
Yeah.
That's so you go home and you can tell yourself like, oh cool, I'm moving towards that goal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it was like progress, because when we first put down the gym mats in this building 10 years ago, we had no idea, like, are you meant to glue them down? Like, how do you square them up? We're like hacking away at these things, like almost felt like
What
with
do
a
you
butter
cut it
knife,
with?
you know?
Yeah.
We had no idea. We just had them turn up, and I had to ring the supplier. I'm like, man, what are we meant to do? Like, because it was just me and my mates, you know?
Yeah.
And
You
people
gotta
didn't
wet
really,
it and you have to oversee it.
people didn't really open gyms back then. It was sort of like a big thing. And then that would have been 8 years later. I'm there laying the tiles all on my own, feeling good about it. Like I'm not the most handy, practical guy either. So doing that, doing that for myself and knowing I can do it and have them look beautiful in my own gym, it's empowering and it shows that I've come from somewhere, you know, from where I was.
It's that little win that's going to basically push you to get the next win.
Exactly.
And that's 100% a good mentality.
Especially a limiting belief of mine. I'm not a practical person. I'm not a handy person. I don't know how to lay gym tiles, you know.
I like that.
Might sound like much to someone, but for me, those sort of steps I've taken along the way to become a gym owner 10 years later have really shaped up a lot of internal change.
I love that. Yeah,
like that.
I think we've had that as well. Drilling holes in the walls.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
whatnot.
I haven't reached that stage
We have
yet.
so many holes in the walls that.
So many great
I
holes.
haven't reached the stage of permanent drilling into a wall yet. I'm not ready for that.
Yeah,
But
don't start.
Yeah.
Don't start, you won't stop.
I would. The photos wouldn't be laid up nicely like that if I did them.
Mate.
That was good. Alrighty, Johnny. So I want to go more into like the industry and that as well. So quick question for yourself as well. Like, what's one fitness myth you would want to like erase from the internet? What would you want to get rid of?
I think that could be a whole podcast episode with no matter who you speak to. But for me, the biggest thing that triggers me is people either being coerced or having the mindset around measuring their progress on the scales. And I think that obsession with scale weight leads to scarce decision making. And then that's when people get preyed upon by the nutritional myths, because it's always marketed around helping people lose weight fast. And then a lot of those myths come into play that you wish would not exist. But I think if we could something I really try and combat is getting people to measure performance, muscle mass, body fat, and what would aid that, because that'll have the biggest impact internally as well as externally, as opposed to just on the scales where decision making becomes really scarce and people want results too fast and start to do drastic measures, and that's where all the stuff starts to snowball from there. I think that's the root cause of it.
Yeah, we always say as well, so we say to our clients, we don't want to obsess over the scales, we need to obsess over your habits, because if you master those, the obviously scales are going to move the right direction, obviously once we master those.
How frustrating is it for a coach where maybe you've done skin folds or some form of body composition test, they're down 3 kilos of body fat and you're all celebrating and they're like, oh, but my weight hasn't gone down enough, and you just pull your hair out and you can explain it. And
We have a rule that we don't talk about their weight, all we look at is their body fat and their muscle.
I wish you could blank it out.
That's all we look at.
And you can try and explain it to them, like this is why your weight, blah, 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 like body composition, and they'll nod their head, but you know internally they're going to go home and
they're just
still
like,
obsess
didn't lose
over
any
it.
weight again this week.
And they'll obsess over that
and
too.
then
Look at all this good shit that's just happened, but you're focusing on this one little thing.
and you deadlift double your body weight now, you know, but they'll go home, then they'll restrict their calories without telling you, over exercise, start to see weight loss drugs.
Or do the opposite
Self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage. We had a client a few years back as well. She was like, I'm down 5 kilos, and we used to do monthly scans. We came to that monthly scan and she lost like 3-4 kilos of muscle and like a kilo of body fat, and she was like, what has happened? Because she was restricting herself so much because she was looking at the scales that completely took her off the wrong path.
Exactly.
So it's like we do weekly scans now just so people know that what's happening.
And you
So
can
they're
even
not losing muscle.
Even have side-by-side photos of someone looking amazing, but if the number doesn't add up, it's still like a bit of a trigger. And weight loss drugs are really, prominent now.
More focused on the scales.
Exactly,
as well.
And anything where they can prey upon people and promise them fast results on the scale, and generally is the most unhealthy way people can treat themselves.
Because they're not changing the mindset like along the way, and I think with that as well as not like it's good to have like an end date, yes, for a goal, but it's like there's never really an end date. You know, once you reach that goal, there's another goal ahead of you.
Another goal afterwards.
It's seeing something past that goal, so you don't go, all right, I finished the end date, let's go back to normal habits, normal behaviours. It's like, no, you've gotten here.
If you
now
stop the
need
habits,
to keep
you're
going.
going to lose the goal that you've just achieved.
And it's, you're either going backwards or you're going forwards. You don't actually stay the same. It's like one or the other. So.
And I'm sure, because I know you two competed for many years and went pro and achieved like a massive milestone. I'm sure now that you've decided to pull back on competing for a while, you haven't just gone and lived a completely different life. You've found a reasonable balance, but a lot of those habits are ingrained, and you're still going to maintain like healthy, fit physiques and mindsets.
Absolutely. And if anything, it's better now because I'm like, you can see how driven and focused that was once you have that balance and the outside of that, it's like, I don't want to kind of go back to that. So once you find that balance and that like good push, like it's almost...
It's just different phases of life.
Yeah.
Just changing the reason that you do it. So it's obviously going for us, going to compete. I want to look this way to compete. We obviously want to look this way and feel healthy in that just to feel good. So it's
Absolutely.
just, do I want to keep feeling good? Yes,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep training.
But to get to that stage, you would have had to go through the competitive stage to build like your ultimate physiques, get peeled, look the way you wanted to look. Now you've done that. Now you're happier with, just more content with yourself probably to live that life. So these people have to go through both of those phases.
Yeah, 100%. I want to ask you as well, if there were like 3 habits you wanted to like install with a new client, like to help them on their journey, what would the 3 starting habits be?
I think when it goes back to small actionable steps to help shift someone's identity, just making like real low-hanging fruit. Okay, number 1, daily activity.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what it is. Like we might, usually at PPS, we'll talk people into strength training to start with twice a week.
Yep.
Every other day though, and every other day, 30 to 45 minutes of walking. Like, can we get that out of you? You know, like, it's like most simplest form of exercise. It's got the biggest bang for buck, and there's not a lot of limitations that would prevent someone from doing that, other than their own excuses around time.
Yep.
It's another story.
Yep.
Number 2, just something to help reduce stress. I think using stress as a reason to not exercise or follow a nutrition protocol is a big barrier.
Yeah.
So whatever that has to be, I'm not like a master on that, but a lot of people would have to identify.
Sometimes exercise will help reduce
It
stress.
does, yeah. And it just, a lot of people have to identify what it is that's causing the stress and what you can do to limit it, what you could do instead, okay? And number 3 for me, is just drinking more water. It's if you like, a lot of people will go to extreme lengths to transform their body when it comes to restricting nutrition, skipping whole food groups, extreme methods of exercise. But the one thing a lot of people I find really struggle to do is like just drink more water, and it has like a huge effect. But more so, it's an identity shift. You're a healthy person now. You're nourished, you know. But a lot of people will do all the things, tick all the boxes, even cut out alcohol if they have to. But then you try and increase their water intake, and they act like you're trying to poison or drown them. They make it seem really hard. And it's just low-hanging fruit.
It's such a simple thing as well. The funny thing with the water is it's like 3 to 4 days without water, you basically die. So if you're feeling terrible, it's a lot of the time you don't drink any water.
I was like, oh, I've got a headache. I'm so tired. I'm not
Don't have
recovering.
energy to train.
I'm so hungry all the time.
I'm always hungry. It's just like you're just heavily dehydrated.
Pee is like bright orange, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I take pride in that clear pee, you know. Like that's my measure of health.
Coming to PPS, you get urine checks.
Yeah.
But this is a good.
I go through it so many, and I've been a coach. Well, obviously I'm a gym owner now, but I've been a coach myself for over like 12, 13 years, and just that one thing of like bashed my head against the wall with this entire time out of anything, no matter how much I've changed someone's life, getting them to drink more water has been the hardest one. And I think it has one of the most positive impacts, you know.
Sleep should be gone as well.
Yeah. And that would fall, I guess, under that stress thing. Like, why aren't you sleeping? What can you do to reduce stress, before bed? And,
They're like the 2 habits that control probably the most for your mental health as well. It's like you fix those 2, you feel more clearer with obviously to then be able to train and choose the right foods as well. Very simple change.
Make better decisions. And,
100%.
And again, shifting that identity. What does a non-gym person do? They don't drink water and they don't walk every day. You know, what does a gym person do? They do. What does a healthy, fit parent do? They do these things. Start to embody that.
I love that. So it's the habits that we're tying to their identity to then make the change. And the more habits they tie with a healthy lifestyle, the more they're likely going to keep that as well.
And the habits were like evidence to you, proving to you that you are that person that you're doubting yourself from being.
Yeah. I love that. Got a question for you as well. Like with you and the 5 gyms, like how have you kept? Because we've obviously got 2 gyms. How have you kept like the standard for your team, your clients? Like how have you guys delivered and helped so many people when you have the 5? Like what's the secret to that? Give me the secret sauce.
I think the secret for that, which I think you and Crystal already are, because I've always seen it in you and really loved working with you guys as a mentor, is the business owner or a fitness business owner. A lot of people don't realize your main role is being a visionary. So you have to know the vision, know the values of the business, like the how, the what, the who, be able to articulate it in a way that is super clear and inspiring for people. And that is part of being a really strong leader, the number one quality. And with that, you can lead, as I said. That means you can attract the people when you're working on your own to start with, so your clients, and they are going to be similar people, which is how you build community and culture, shared values. And then you're going to attract the team. And that team, you're not just going to attract people who want to work for you. If you can articulate that message and share your vision, you're going to use it to attract A players, the right people. And that's the only way that PPS has been able to scale to our locations, which is 5 at the moment. And each of those locations, we've got 5 really strong leaders, better coaches than me, I would say, which hurts to admit. But I've got my role, they've got theirs. But then,
you want that though.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Want them to,
That was the purpose.
To look up to them and be inspired by them.
Yeah,
and that is definitely it. And that is definitely it. Having those leaders on board, and then even below them, we would do a lot of work at PPS getting all of our team members, no matter how junior or senior you are, to see yourself as a leader. To be able to understand your strengths and weaknesses, to know what our mission is and how that aligns with your personal mission and purpose and values, tying them together. And that way, no matter who's in our buildings, there's always leadership in those buildings, no matter how experienced a team member is. And that's definitely the only way we've been able to build consistency across the brand, and something we just work on still to this day.
I think if someone can, even the client, if they can lead a family member on the right path, if they have the ability to do that and to teach what you've taught them, they're going to become an expert in it. So if you can teach something you know it really well, to be able to claim this is your information that you obviously live by, I think that's really, really cool.
Leaders teach leaders, right? So if your coaches see themselves as leaders, you're going to teach your clients to be leaders. And then who runs the culture of your gym more than you do? Your clients do. They're 80% of your member base. So you need to be creating leaders in your community outside of your coaches who know how to articulate the purpose of the business, what the culture is, what the expectations are, and how things work, which I didn't do on purpose, intentfully, but I saw it happen in front of my eyes when I was building the gyms. I was like, oh wow, this guy couldn't even pick up a barbell 6 months ago. Now he's here teaching other members exactly how the program works, what the culture is. You say hello to people by name when they come in the room. They, without me saying, hey guys, this is the new rule of the gym, they just know because it was acted upon consistently, and it absorbed it, and then they did it, and then they tell people that's what you do, even though I never wrote it on the wall as a spoken rule.
We have that with fist bumps with clients and stuff. It's something we always do, and all the clients do it now as well, and it's such a cool to see that.
They meet someone new and it's fist bump, and it's so good to see.
I think really important on that too as a personal trainer is understanding that you are your business. How you act, how you carry yourself. What you say is one thing, but what people see is another and do, especially if you work in a commercial gym, how you're conducting yourself on the floor, how you conduct yourself on social media. Who cares what you're saying you do or what your mission is? People will decide what it is by your actions, and that's how you build a successful fitness business.
I love that. One of I think the biggest things that we took on from you early, and we did that workshop with you as well, was your core values. So it's everyone has core values they live by, even if they're not aware of it. But for us to figure out what they are, what are the values we want to live by, and then being able to inspire others to follow them as well, has been a game changer. 100%. If the coach or one of the clients doesn't know what to do, they come back to the core values and that tells them. So it's just crazy how something so simple can just completely change the game.
Even outside of business, just in personal life, if I'm maybe my partner, for example, or a friend or someone's come to me just for general help in life for something, whether it be relationship, career, or something along those lines, we're always going to start with, hey, well, what are your values, man? Who do you want to be known by? What do you want your days to look like in terms of actions? And then we can just branch out from there, because if you're putting yourself in environments or situations that don't align with your values, that's why it's not working out. Whether it be a relationship or a job or something.
If you're having an issue with someone, that's usually a clash of values.
And maybe you don't know it because you don't know what your values are, but you can reflect and see, I can see why there's been friction because I value this. That person disrespects that unknowingly, and that's why we're having a clash.
You're having a clash. Do you remember yours off by heart right now? Can you share them with us?
Yeah, absolutely. absolutely. So we actually revisit ours yearly.
That's sweet.
We
That's
almost rebuild the whole business every year.
Yeah.
So that's what,
We do that as well.
again, that's fun to fancy that.
ADHD.
Yeah, but that's how we limit complacency as well. So it's like, wasn't just written once, it's written every year, and it's a chance to change it.
Yeah.
Maybe
Because
values change. Yeah.
You change as well.
Maybe we get better at it, you
Yeah.
know. So number one is leadership.
Yep.
I think, and leadership can encompass a lot of what I went to some other seminar once, and a guy called them shit values. These are typical values like discipline, motivation, and stuff. So they take up a lot of corporate businesses' core values, which is essentially just sums up to just being a good person. But it's leadership for us, and then. As a team, we break down what leadership looks like because everyone's got their own definition. But anyway, leadership, integrity is another one.
Yep.
Doing what you say you're going to do, I think, is really important. Courage.
Yep.
So being an action taker
Yep.
goes with that. Empathy, which 100%. I learned empathy through PPS
Yep.
and my partner. It wasn't a value of mine growing up, and my awareness was really low around it. So
Yep.
I've learned that through my journey.
That's half our job.
At PPS. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And something I took for granted.
Yep.
You know, I was just push people up the hill. They'll do it. You know, rather than trying to guide them. You know.
Yep.
So we had leadership, courage, empathy, and leadership, courage, empathy, integrity, and then from there, look, communication. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't communication. We put that into empathy recently. We made sure teamwork was in there.
Yep.
Teamwork, and to me,
Yeah,
before PPS, being from New Zealand, we grew up in a real cultural background, team sports, the family, the way we look after each other, and the values we just naturally grow up in. Teamwork has always been massive for me, and
Yep.
again, it goes back to how we've kept PPS consistent as we've scaled is teamwork.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's cool because those values, like when I think about your gym and like your marketing and stuff as well, like that's what I see is those values. So it's your message essentially as well.
And that's what I was saying too, because a lot of people will say these are my values, but what am I seeing? Are they your values, or are you saying they're your values?
Yeah.
Because knowing your values is one thing, but acting on them without thinking about it those are what your values
Living
are.
by
So-
them essentially is the
yeah,
truth.
and a lot of
as well.
that's what I was saying with like PPS, our values, our vision, our mission. A lot of it was just told to us by our own community over the years. That's where I got a lot of the messaging from. We just acted it, and instinctively we acted it, and then it was brought to us, and we're like, okay, well if they're seeing it, that's what it is. Can't be anything else. This must be what we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. Let's go through ours real quick to see if I
Yeah, man.
remember
Tell
something.
us. Tell us.
Gratitude, so loving what we do and being very grateful
Yeah.
for everything we do. Mateship, so knowing everyone by names and obviously just being friends with everyone. And we're lucky to spend every day with the clients that we have.
Yeah.
Number 3 is leadership, so like lead
Love
by
it.
example. Number 4 would be unstoppable, so don't be afraid to step into the unknown
Yep.
and take risks
Feel
as
the
well.
fear and do it anyway.
And then the big one, number 5, is growth. Always looking
Yep.
to get that 1% better and just trying to improve overall.
Yeah.
So that was like, to be honest, that was one of the biggest things that just guided us in the right direction from that workshop. Thank you very much, Johnny. That was
No
good.
worries,
Yeah,
man.
that was great.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember our first call. I know you guys obviously, and I see those values in you, and you two were probably like really already done a great job with M Theory. And I think you were just looking for that next step in growth and consistency with your team as well. And it was the first thing we did. What are your values? Does your team know what your values are?
Yeah.
Do they know
Yeah.
how to act?
So I think that's something that we've gotten a
Yeah.
lot better at now as well, which is good.
I love the growth one as well. I think we sort of, because we didn't want to have too many values, we sort of put growth into leadership. Like
Yeah.
we defined leadership and put a few things in there. Else, like I say, you end up with a lot of things because you're like,
Yeah,
oh, let's
yeah.
make sure we cover
So
this
many.
and that. But it's got to
5
be
is
like,
good.
again, as a visionary, clear and defined and agreed upon.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's like for our gym to live by, but then like for us as well with our life, what we're doing, like are we living by those as well? And that's obviously progress for us. Big question for you as well. I was really excited to ask this one. So you've grown from 1 to 5 gyms. What's been the biggest breakthrough, the hardest lesson that you've learnt that's allowed you to do that?
I think a lot of what we've covered today will be in there. I think going back to my gym journey, something I probably lacked in myself was self-belief before that. I had a lot of ideas. I've always been I'll probably say a visionary or a creative. As I said, I always wanted something self-employed and more for myself, but I was always holding myself back with my own limitations. And it wasn't until I went through my own gym and transformation journey that I learned how to set goals, reverse engineer, map out the process and take action on them, and then problem solve barriers when they come up. And you know, whether it's be getting your deadlift from 60 kilos to 270 kilos, that's a journey of problem solving and overcoming barriers.
Is that what you've done?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
In my day, this
Okay.
is, yeah, definitely.
38 now as well.
Yeah. So definitely, but and a lot of people will put their personal best videos on Instagram from lifting weights, or they might put their physique up, and that's cool. They're going to get judged for being meatheads and gym junkies and all that stuff. But really, what we're doing is just showing off our progress of not just physically and not just how strong I am, but the journey it took for me to get there and who it turned me into along the way. And that self-belief and that courage and confidence I gained from my own physique and strength journey is literally the only reason I had the courage to even open a gym in the first place and scale to 5, you know, like 5 leases, up to 18 team members. You know, there's so much risk, there's a lot to take on board, but I just got so much belief in myself and our process, and knowing that if I make mistakes, I can problem solve them from that journey.
I think the gym as well is like this self-discovery. It's like building confidence. It's building up like what you can take. So if you're obviously doing a workout that's grueling and that's a tough challenge for yourself, like what else can you push yourself to do?
Exactly.
So that's a good.
And it's just a little thing where again you're just reshaping your belief every time. Like I never thought I'd be able to lift that weight, and then you lift it a few months later, but not just because you decided to, but because you put a process in place that helps you achieve it, you know, and you hit roadblocks and you hit barriers, and it builds your confidence up even more that you problem solve them, you know. And I guess that even goes back to Chantel's inspiring journey I shared before. Again, she just epitomizes all of that we went through.
And on that, Johnny, like what do you do daily, weekly, monthly to keep yourself in that vision, in that mindset, like running the 5 gyms, doing so much and having so many people that look up to you? Obviously things get tough sometimes and it can get quite overwhelming. How do you keep yourself in the best position possible to keep that up?
I think all of this stuff that was spoken about today just relates back to self-development, you know, and I never think, how can I improve the business? I would think, what am I lacking that would improve the business if there's something needs improving, you know? Or if something happened in the business in the past that I don't want to happen again, like we hit a barrier, maybe it'd be a growth barrier, team members leaving or anything like that, I'd look at what self-development do I need to go through to prevent that from happening again and take our business to the next level. Same as I said before, like empathy, and communication being one of our core values now in the business, we live by it. It was something I had to develop to take my business to the next level, and my relationships and everything, you know, so it's more just
personal responsibility.
Constant strive to be better myself that flows into the business, not the other way around. You can't grow a good fitness business. A fitness business is pretty much based on you as a person. You cannot grow that, or a personal training business, unless you're working on yourself, or eventually, which I'm sure it happens all the time, eventually it isn't going to grow anymore. It's going to go backwards, you know, because you're trying to solve systems to grow your business or learn marketing hacks. You're not looking at you as the barrier.
I think we said to you today as well, when we first said, I was like, this last year, it's like I've realized it comes down to us. If we're learning, growing, getting better, the business improves as well. Like it all comes back to us here. So that's a lesson that took a while to really take on board, but definitely have
good lessons do, man.
Good lessons.
Good lessons do. We got to find our own journey to learn those lessons and be patient with ourselves.
100%. The last question I want to ask you as well. So I just want to get your feedback on like what you feel is coming in the fitness industry. So in the next like 5 years, like what sort of changes do you see coming?
I think fitness is always going to have trends. I think what helps transform someone's life is always going to be the same. The fundamentals will always remain the same, and they were very much in place before I entered the fitness journey. I think shiny objects are always going to come and go as well. Recovery is huge at the moment. Tech, AI, all that stuff. But to help a non-gym person transform their body and lifestyle, you definitely don't need all of that stuff. To help, you just need to have a system in place that helps them enjoy being in the gym and being active. And the sort of things that will never die, no matter what trends, fads, and everything comes along with fitness. Because fitness is super gimmicky. We know that things are suddenly the hottest, and then a couple of years later some study comes out and says it's not good for you anymore.
Yeah, contradicts itself all the time.
Instead of stressing
Like,
about
that's actually bad for you.
yeah, instead of stressing about all the capital put into your gym, they're trying to adjust it to suit all these different fads. The smallest things you do will get you the biggest results, like the 80-20 principle. Say hello to your members by name, remember their names, remember personal stuff about them, build relationships, build trust. Then whatever philosophy you believe in that can help them get results. It can be anything, as long as it helps them, but you're going to need to be able to build relationships and trust with people by being a good human. Will trump any of that stuff. Doesn't matter, you know. So that's always been the foundations of our business. And if you obviously look around, we're pretty straight on how we train people here, and it hasn't changed over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It's the culture and the values that propel the business, not the tech or the gimmicks or anything like that. Nothing against it. If you've got the means to continue to invest in that stuff, that's cool, but make sure you've got a foundation set in your fitness business first. Don't think it's going to save your business without the foundation set in place.
Yeah. No.
What are your guys' thoughts?
I love that. I feel pretty much the same as well, as in like I know things are going to change, but there's always going to be fads that are going to come and go, and I think it's just like it's the personal experience. It's becoming friends with the members. It's inspiring them through your own journey, your story.
Community and make everyone feel
Yeah,
welcome.
100%. Yeah,
and how humans have done that for hundreds of years hasn't changed.
it's the same principles essentially.
And you don't want to like have to wake up every morning wondering if there's some new article or trend out. You have to quickly pivot your business. You know, oh man,
Yeah.
I just put that I don't know massive sauna or ice bath in the gym recovery center or whatever it is at the time, or we just opened a Hyrox facility and then suddenly it's not cool anymore. Now I have to rip it all out. You know,
I think it's like working on the basics, but the basics can always be improved in the member experience.
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
like listen to the members. What do they need help with? Put all your energy there. That's the biggest thing.
90% of the time in private facilities like ours, it's not exactly the training philosophy, although I think quality coaching is important. It's the interpersonal connections, the values and the vision that
Just making it fun.
And it's always going to come back down to the founders and the leaders and how they conduct themselves, you know, and whatever you want your clients to do from there, you'll be able to influence.
I love that. Thank you so much for jumping on today with us, man. I really appreciate it.
worries,
I think
man.
that was an awesome lesson for us as well.
Love it. What was the biggest lesson you guys learned today?
Too many lessons.
We've worked together a lot, I know, but is there anything you picked up today?
I just think the same thing as always, just being clear on who you are and like being able to be that leader for your team and stuff as well, and your clients. It comes back to you.
And as much as it is a personal journey for the clients, it's a personal journey for you who's leading the clients. And
It is.
The better we become at what we do, the more people we can help as well. So I just know we're just going to keep improving. And it's 32,
You
so
guys are young,
early
man.
days for
You
us.
guys are young, man.
Just going to keep doing what
I
we're
was
doing.
coming up on 30 when I opened the gym. It was that whole sort of pivotal 30s moment. What am I doing with my life type thing?
That was me for the second gym.
Yeah. But you
And I
see,
was like, what?
and you guys,
Let's go.
you guys will see it too. Like, not only do we grow up in the gyms, our clients and our coaches do too. Like the amount of coaches I've seen start at PPS as kids, grow up to be adults, and what they've now done with their lives outside of PPS, moved on into careers, and the clients as well. I know that we've just played our role and had an impact. You know, it's like that sort of where they come and grow.
That was a cool value that I forgot to mention. Impact is one of our main
Impact,
values as
man.
well. That's one of the main ones
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. How could you forget? You guys need a values revision.
It's on our jumper as well. But beautiful. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope to see you guys next time. Very big podcast. I'd love to have you down again.
Oh man, for sure, man. I love
Thank you so
catching
much
up
for
with
that,
you
man.
guys.
Appreciate it. See you guys next time.
See you later.
Awesome.